Every day, Indian home life is rich with diverse crafts that can be spotted once you begin to notice. Handmade textiles are worn and used in the home. Earthenware icon shrines are hidden in the trees. Reed and bamboo crafts provide shade and keep out the light. Fragments of stone carving from the architectural paths show how stone was handcrafted. But in India's modern cities, urban and industrialized products can be seen as much, if not more, than handmade products. The world of crafts and machine production both coexist and compete. In India's modern economy, how do traditional crafts, historically a cornerstone of the local economy, play a role in society, everyday life, and sustainability? How is it that handmade craftsmanship still exists in India today, despite the largely industrialized economic landscape India is operating within? What efforts have been made by the Government of India to showcase and promote Indian craftsmanship and the Gandhian vision of independence through handspun cloth? What stores are there in the private sector that build businesses around Indian craft? To explore these questions, I spoke to craftsmen, designers, and patrons who have masterfully continued traditional crafts. Some of them have bridged into contemporary design, including in the fashion world. This film aims to understand the factors which sustain traditional design and craftsmanship with a focus on artisans in Delhi, Kashmir, and Jaipur. Ram Singh has been making chicks or bamboo blinds for almost 30 years. Like many craftsmen, it's a family affair. He learned his skills from his father-in-law and is helped by his son-in-law. With just one material, bamboo, Ram Singh is able to create a variety of designs.
मेरा नाम राम सिंह है मैम और मैं काफ़ी 25 साल से करीब काम कर रहा हूँ। यही चिक्का काम मैंने यहीं आके सीखा जी। रहने वाला मैं गांव का ही हूँ वैसे तो, और ये तो बच्चे मेरे नहीं करेंगे इस काम को। चिक्का बैम्बू का ही एक बाउंड्री बनाते हैं जी, वैसे गार्डन में लगते हैं, जैसे कोई कहीं भी लगवा लेता है जी। और आपके अंदर पर्दे हैं, फैंसी पर्दे बनाते हैं। बैम्बू आता है आसाम से, 4 इंची मोटा होता है वो, 24 फुट का। उसमें से काट के साइज बनाते हैं, उसके हिसाब से इनको तीलियाँ कराते हैं पहले, उसके बाद बुनाई होती है।
After meeting Ram Singh, I was inspired to see where craftsmen like him might find support from the Indian government. This led me to the Crafts Museum. This is where the government organizes and institutionalizes the sale of Indian handmade crafts, including handlooms, handicrafts, pottery, weaving, and food. Here, I met Bashir, a Kashmiri shawl embroiderer and designer based in Kashmir, who sells his work seasonally in Delhi at the Crafts Museum. He explained how a plain woven shawl is stamped with an intricate design and then embroidered by him over a period of time which can take as long as 3 years.
ये तो पश्मीना शाल बनाते हैं, इस पे कढ़ाई करते हैं, इस पे इसको कहते हैं सोजनी वर्क। आज 100 साल पहले वो बात है। हमारा जो फादर है उसका जीजा जी है, मेरे फादर ने उसके पास सीखा, बाद में मैंने अपने फादर के पास भी सीखा।
There are hundreds of designs to choose from and each one has a name such as chinar or badam. After selecting one, Bashir then chooses the colors.
2 बेटियां हैं, उनको भी सिखाया, 2 बेटा है, उनको भी सिखाया। जो डिज़ाइन वाले होते हैं ना, जो इस पे खाका मारते हैं, ठप्पा मारते हैं, वो भी आर्टिजन होता है। कश्मीर में इसके भी आर्टिजन है, जो ये इसका नाम होता है चिनार बादाम है। ये बादाम बने हुए हैं, बाद में इस पर कलर कन्वेंशन चलाते हैं। जो मार्केट में दिखते हैं ना, जो बनते हैं रोज़ बनते हैं, उसके लिए कुछ डिफरेंट बनाना है।
इस शॉल को बनाने में तकरीबन 3 से 3.5 साल लगते हैं। इसमें जितने पेशेंस चाहिए, वो पेशेंस उसको एब्जॉर्ब करना, इसको समझना, ये वही करेगा जो इसको प्यार करेगा। अब यहाँ अभी हम बैठे थे, अंकल ने बोला वो सूफी वाला एक ये लगा दो, मैंने लगा के रख दिया। हम कर रहे थे, मैं भी थोड़ा कर रहा था, ये तो कर
हम भी गाते हैं,
तो हम भी उसमें घुल जाते हैं, तो इसमें पता नहीं चलता उतना।
After seeing this state-sponsored attempt to promote Indian craftsmanship, I was also interested in how craftsmen were patronized in the private sector. I was curious to learn about companies celebrating regional traditions and working with craftsmen. With Kashmir still on my mind, I visited the company Kashmir Loom's showroom in New Delhi. Kashmir Loom was founded by Jenny Houseko and Asif Ali in 2000 as a producer of fine design. Jenny Houseko is an art historian and textile specialist who used her scholarly eye and knowledge to revive and adapt Kashmiri crafts. Jenny Houseko's amazing life is in her book, A Woven Life, which details her career in India, adventuring and pioneering in weaving. Today, Kashmir Loom is an international organization, and I had the opportunity to speak to Asif about their company.
She had always a love for textile and she always wanted to innovate and do new things. So she wanted to bring that knowledge, that experience, especially with the craft, with the handloom, with the weavers, with the craftsmanship within India. So Kashmir was always in her mind. Because she had experience with shades, with her expertise in carpets, expertise in textiles. So she brought this contemporary angle. Yet we are using same skills, same craft, same weavers. We are not changing the setup or we were not trying to make them feel uncomfortable. But yet she tried to infuse a new era into it. This is basically a shawl which we tried to replicate from John Singer Sargent's painting. And then it went to Trade Britain. So this shawl is replication, but this is woven, this we have done. This is recent. So you can see that we have woven what we call a palla. All this is woven, and this is also woven on the sides. So we call this as Sargent shawl. You can see that in many of the paintings in museums. He done this. When we started Kashmir Loom, we were not selling things here in India much. We used to make things and we used to sell them in abroad. Then when we had the space, we thought how to make it look, we give it a little Kashmiri touch. Also to create a little ambience, we couldn't change the structure, that where it resembles a little bit of presenting the best heritage of the Kashmir. Kashmir has this unique ability to adopt the situations. And they have always did that and they rised. I personally think that a lot of that is because this craft, most and a lot of the people were spiritually very inclined to it. And that had given them that resistance, the ability to adopt. Obviously, the nature has always been the biggest inspiration, not only for the craft. Yes, for the craft, it is the biggest information, given weaving the shawl weaving, give the paper mache, give the carpets, give the namdas, wood carving, copper, any element you find, you will see that there is a lot which is inspired by the nature, whether it is the color, whether it is the shapes of the flowers, whether it is that, leaves and flowers sometimes you don't find in books or you can't even copy them. It is Kashmir.
From here, I hope to explore ways that Indian crafts are used and celebrated by local patrons. Art historian, designer, and poet Momin Latif, who has worked with craftsmen all over the country, has designed a house that brings together many of India's regional crafts through his love of Indian handmade products. Momin sat down to discuss the design of his house in Mehroli, one of the oldest neighborhoods of South Delhi. This neighborhood is densely populated and unplanned and has tremendous atmosphere. It is home to some of the most amazing monuments of the city, notably the tallest minaret in the world, the Qutub Minar, built in the 13th century from sandstone. Close to Momin's house is the shrine of medieval Sufi Saint Bakhtiyar Kaki. I entered the house through a narrow sandstone passageway into a tall courtyard with beautifully carved columns and glass chandeliers. Off this space is a woven-walled dining room with a collection of calligraphies by the last Mughal emperor Bahadur Shah and his family. The Mughal style and Persian language inscriptions are strongly present throughout this house, along with other styles. On the dining table, I saw glassworks produced by Wasim, a craftsman who produces these high-end glassworks in nearby Firozabad and Faridabad. Every inch of the plot of this irregular-shaped land which was bought originally as a cowshed, has been used so that even Momin's pool has a bend in it.
Do you think that there's an economic future for craftsmanship in India?
It's the only thing which will keep India going. It's not huge, enormous billion-dollar businesses. India, thousands and millions of people in India, they've got to be kept going. They'll be kept going through craftsmanship. India has, I think, probably the last great country with surviving craftsmen in every field, in wood, in stone, and in jewelry, making designs. They're half Persian, half Indian, half Chinese. You know it? The world is one, which people don't know. They're trying to separate the world. It's not separated, no. We had a connection with Mehroli, the family. You know, I came back to India. So, because there was never a moment that I was forgotten in India. I came back and then to Mehroli because we had a house here years ago. We used to come here every summer. So I came here, found this cowshed right in front of the Qutub Minar. Wonderful view, cowshed. So I bought it and built a house. I've never had a roof over my head. And there was a roof over my head. And I said that I must put all the aesthetic reality that I have in this house. I sat here and built this house from ground up. And everything, every little last detail was done with the craftsman. So I had everything made, you know, these things, the passementerie, well, I had it made in Calcutta. I had silk made in Bangalore. I mean, I had enough energy to do everything in this house, bit by bit. You know what this is? Tiles from Multan. And it says, before starting any work, take advice. Mashwarat, darkar, wajib ho. It is necessary to take advice before you start work, so that you're not tapashe pani, that akhir kam shud, that you're less disappointed at the end. 2 columns I had. I bought from a dealer. Took the column, put it on a truck with sand in it so it wouldn't break, and sent it to Sikandara. And I found the exact right stone, 6 tons each, big stone. And they made, this is the great thing about India, they made exact copies fabulously. The beams came from Gujarat after the earthquake. The Gujarat was full of broken beams and wood. All the wood in this house came from Gujarat after the earthquake. I made those. I had these things from Firuzabad, and the metalwork is made right here in Delhi. I like everything in the past. Unfortunately, because I think we must concentrate on the past in India, but we got forward. Too much forward making has gone in modern art and this and that, billions of dollars. All the money is going into things which are not real in India. It's all badly digested waste, I think. I might be wrong. We need museums, we need living art, like textiles and embroidery, etc., jewelry. We need a museum of textiles here. Museum of embroidery. India has 1,700 stitches, which the whole world is using, and India is just selling it.
Our conversation then turned to the city of Jaipur as a center for crafts since earlier times.
Jaipur is doing very well, extremely well, and I hope it can be repeated everywhere in India. since 1727, the Maharaja Jai Singh of Jaipur did exactly what Akbar did. He set up factories of stoneware, of jewelry, of all sorts of things. And they're carrying on. Jaipur was the first of the Indian states which were globalized. They actually put India on the map.
But Jaipur had always been a center for art since the Mughal period and also under British patronage. After Momin mentioned Jaipur, I was interested in learning more about Jaipur's contemporary design scene. To understand this, I met Tahir Sultan, a fashion designer who is based there.
I moved to Jaipur during the pandemic, and I started with my food business. And from that, it grew into an experiential business. The food business was run out of Delhi. And I then opened a store. And I've always worked in craft. And with the store, I expanded it to become a lifestyle art. It became a platform and no longer a store. It was supplying interior decorators, designers, and then it kind of moved into this other realm where it just became this creative space for me to be able to explore my art practice, craft, and support young designers, slash really focus on sustainability and how you can take what was of cultural value many years ago, so say tribal pieces or what the tribals make, or vintage pieces or art deco pieces, and use them, because the only carbon footprint that you have then is transport, which I mean you really can't do away with that. But really, essentially, trying to make Indians understand that what is Indian can be amazingly chic and contemporary when used in the right way. I mean, craft in India, its future really depends on support from the government, infrastructure, but also depends on then contemporizing their craft to make it more relevant in the marketplace today so that people actually want to buy their wares. And there has to be an interest for people to work with them. I think there is a large movement towards the honing of craft, saving of the skill set that craftspeople have, which will be important to their future and to work that designers and artists produce in the future.
Today, crafts may have a new meaning with questions of whether these traditions will continue to be passed on to the coming generations of craftsmen. Also, will there be patrons with the same aesthetic eye for crafts like Momin? Ultimately, would you like to wear a machine-made outfit, or would you prefer to wear a handcrafted outfit?